Welcome to Always Analog, where we celebrate the beauty of analog technology in the digital world. And today we're taking a look at a typewriter. This is a 1940 Underwood Master Typewriter. And this typewriter was, I believe, first introduced either in late 1938 or early 1939. And the example we have here was manufactured in 1940. They made this model for a couple of years. And as a matter of fact, they made a giant replica of this typewriter for the New York World's Fair in 1939. Underwood had an exhibit there, and it was basically a giant copy of this machine, and I believe it actually worked. I mean, mechanically it was identical to this machine. So this is a really, I think, a beautiful, beautiful typewriter. We'll get a little closer here and look at some of the features. And of course, we'll start right up front with the panel here, Underwood. And if we open that, whoop, it's on a spring. That gives us access there to the type keys for cleaning. And then, of course, we'll come back a little bit and take a look here. This is your color selector. We have black, stencil, red, so it accommodates a two-color ribbon. Over on this side, we have basically your touch control here from 0 to 6 in terms of firmness of the keys. And if we come back and actually take a closer look at these keys, you'll see these are round keys. They are plastic. They're not covered in glass as, say, many of the others, the Royals, some of the Smith Coronas were. These are chrome, or stainless steel rather, trimmed around the ring, and they are black plastic, with the exception of your shift lock key, which is here, your margin release key, which is here, your backspace key here, and then your tab sets and tab clear keys. Those are in sort of a emerald green color. It features sort of the Underwood system here of managing margins with your margin set controls right here on the front rail. So you've got a scale here. This particular machine is pica, so 10 characters per inch, and you can set your left margin thusly, your right margin like so. Very easy. And then of course the pointer will kind of tell you where you are in terms of your where you are on the line in terms of how much room you have left. Going up, you've got a little bit of right here. This flips to hold your paper or whatever it is you're typing on against the platen, although you have a paper bale here with two rollers on it. An interesting kind of feature on this, you've got a hook here for your thumb as a way to pull the carriage over without advancing the space. So obviously when you use this to push the carriage over, it takes the line up either 1, 2, or 3 spaces, depending on where you have it set, which is right here. But if you just wanted to move the carriage over, you've got that little hook there to do that. So you've got the carriage release right here. There's also one on the left side. You've got here is this sort of releases this lever here releases the paper bale so that you can take stuff out, and it's really a beautiful machine. Let me zoom out here and we can take a look at the side of the machine here. This is your ribbon advance and ribbon reverse. So it's a little crank, and if you want to change the direction of the ribbon, you can pull it out or push it in, and that will change which way the ribbon is pulling. If you just want to advance the ribbon, you turn the crank, and there you go. See what's happening there? Your ribbon advances. But it has this really beautiful piece of trim work, bright work on the edge, very streamlined, very late 30s, early 40s in its design. This was a very modern looking typewriter. On the back panel you have Underwood, product of Underwood Elliott Fisher Company, and made in USA, patents pending. Here in the back it gives you a little bit of a closer look at, waiting for it to focus in, there you go, on your tab stops, although those are set from the front. But you can see the mechanism here which depresses the tabs along the back of the carriage. Here on the side, again, you have that nice piece of bright work here. You have this, which this releases the platen, and so if you were filling out a form and you needed to sort of adjust the horizontal spacing, you would do that. You would just pull this out, and then it turns freely. Put it back in, and then it locks back in. There's your carriage release. This is your line setting here, 1, 2, or 3. And there it is. And I will say too that it was very much an Underwood typewriter. Those of you who are familiar with Underwoods, underneath the streamlined modern cabinet and skin, as it were, very much an Underwood typewriter underneath. Not a lot of particularly advancements from some of the earlier Underwoods, but in terms of the switching and that, there's some updates obviously, but very much what you'd expect, and it handles very much like a traditional Underwood. So we will put a sheet of paper in this 1940 Underwood Master and do a little typing. All right. I'll put some paper in here, and here we go. You'll see that it is not a segment shift, but it is a carriage shift. So it takes a little bit of pinky power there to do the shifting, but it types really beautiful. Let's type something in red. Yeah, it's a very nice typing typewriter. You know, sometimes the rounder keys are not as comfortable as the later sort of finger form keys, but these actually do very well. So, there it is, the 1940 Underwood Master Typewriter. So, thank you for spending some time with me for this edition. I'm going to try to be doing more typewriters from the collection here. And I've been focusing a lot on pencils, and there's certainly a lot more pencils to review. But typewriters are fun too, so I'm going to try to spend some more time sharing some typewriters with all of you. So thank you again, and we'll see you again real soon here on Always Analog.